Hey guys, welcome back. In this video, we're going to discuss all about how to build a Todo app list using MERN. So here is the project that we will be building during the video. Very simple but very useful for beginners. So inside the application have many features such as add the record, delete, update, and also some filter options on there like pending, completed, and all. So I'm going to add the record by clicking add new task, and I'm going to add the task Todo demo. We will building a Stack Todo like this. Click to submit. The Todo demo has been stored in the database. I will show you how you can use that. I do not open the mongoDB right now. I just show you how you can use this one project, right? Let's click to edit, and I'm going to change Todo to demo to Todo. Just click to save, and my record has been saved. Let's click to delete. The record has been deleted, and also have a feature like completed, uncompleted. Let's click to completed. How many completed tasks? 2. The pending is 1. By clicking a pending, I'm getting only on the pending task. When I click on the completed, I'm getting the completed task. So give me a second. I'm gonna open the. Give me a second. MongoDB. I'm gonna show you the database which I used on there. So give me a second. I'm gonna log in that. So guys, I'm logged in my mongoDB account, and you're able to see the records which are stored in the database. So let's try to, just give me a second, let's try to delete this one. Hello developers. I'm going to delete it and refresh the page. Give me a second, and this is my hello developer, but when I refresh my page, and give me a second, browse collections. Basically my internet is slow, so I'm getting a problem to load the page, and you can't see, as you can see, only 2 records. You can't see hello developers inside the database. So both have a completed means true, but when I will uncheck it and refresh the page, you'll get the false. Okay, and I'm going to refresh my page. Give me a second, and you will get the different result, guys. So I will teach you everything from scratch, and there we go. As you can see, completed is false. You can also change the value from there, but I'm going to leave that by default like this. I just use front end by performing the tasks. So first of all, I will set up the front end, not front end. I will set up our backend project, and once I set up the backend project, then I will teach you how you can use the mongoDB connections, how you can use the logic to create a RESTful API like add, delete, update the records, and how you can use the features like all pending and so on and so forth. So let's get started. So guys, I have successfully configured my backend project, but in the front end you can't see anything else. I will work on that on later. This time I just work on the why I'm getting the controller outside of the backend. I just move it inside my backend. Okay, so the first step, I'm gonna open the config.env server.js. So I would like to node env is development. The port I will use 3000, and database I'm going to leave the default because I will connect it on my LTS database, right? So database password, I'll assign it nothing. So I not need to move on there, and I'm going to create a project, like new project, and I will show you how you can get the password and URL and how you can connect that. So I need to use sudo copy, write any name as you want. I'm going to use create, and you need to wait a couple of seconds, create a cluster, and select the free, use by default everything, and create a development and deployment, right? So yeah, so here is the username. I'm going to change the username to use sudo copy. Do you want to change the password? You can do that, but I'm going to use default like this. Just copy it and paste on there, and use create database, choose the connection method, and select the mongoDB for VS, and just copy this one URL and paste on there. That's it. You don't need to use the mongoDB right now. The next thing is I need to connect this one with my Node.js project, right? So in order to connect that, I'm going to use server.js file. Inside there I need to import the packages, and also I need to connect this application with my mongoDB database. So what I'm going to do on there, I'm going to use .env require .env. The next one is I need to get mongoose, require mongoose, and leave other things. The next one is I need to use .env.config, and inside there you need to use curly bracket, assign the path where the file is located. So .config.env, right? This is my file name. Then I would like to connect my database with Node application. In order to connect that, so I just use const db, whatever the name you will be used on there, and then you need to use process.env.database.replace, and give me a second, I will show you important thing, guys. This is a terminate. So here is a default database is attached inside my URL, but I'm going to leave it, use my static word on there. I would like to change it inside there. So I would like to use password like process.env.database password. Inside this one I have used the static data, but this is my dynamic data. I have changed it inside there. So this is my this one value. I just change it with the help of process.env.database password. That's it. So let's move on. Call the mongoose.connect, passing the db, and then give me a second, mongoose.connect and db, why I'm getting this solution. I don't need to use that. Then like this, console.log database successfully connected, and I would like to use catch error. If the error is exist, then display the error. Okay, so I would like to use on there is error.message like this. That's it. So you have successfully connected with your database, but right now you can't execute the code because I just work on the config.env and server.js. So I need to work on this one file, app.js file, to execute the project, and we will get the result. So let's move on there, and we're gonna work on it. Const express, require express course. I don't need to use right now the todo app list. Select the app and assign the express. Then we would like to use course, and middleware is like express.json. Right, then the next thing is I would like to use app.get and url.api version 1, and I just use the status right now. I would like to check it's working or not, then I will manage it. Request response, and inside there I need to use like this. The last thing I need to use app.listen process.env port. I need to call my this one port, or you can create a port variable like this. You can use this variable on there, right? So we are able to use this one API to get the code. So I'm going to open the terminal, just clear it, and then we're going to call it. But before calling it, I need to configure my this one picket.json file. So I just use start. I have installed, by the way, globally node mono. So I'm going to use app.nodemon app.js. Then I would like to call npm install. Okay, and why I'm getting, give me a second. Give me a second. Waiting. Okay, so I also configure my server.js file because I'm facing problems. So just stop the server and get this one. Just use module.exports this one app from there, like, just don't need that. Give me a second, I will show you guys. Give me a second. I just cut all of the code and use module.export app file, and I need to move on app.server.js file, const app require app, and after this one I would like to call that. So I need to change it like server.js. So let's try to execute it, and there we go, guys. Server is running, database is successfully connected. So what's wrong with this one? Give me a second. If I change, give me a second, I will change the file. From there I'm getting the problem. So let me save the file, and as you can see, authentication failed. It means it is successfully connected with our database. So I don't need to use this one, and also I don't need to use this one server.js file. I work on the app.js file in controller, modules, models, and router, right? So let's work on the models, router, and controller. So first of all, I will create a file inside the model like todo models.js, right? Inside there, I'm going to use const mongoose, require mongoose, and the next thing is I need to assign the mongoose schema, means which detail or which column you want to create it. So give me a second, I just show you. Const write the name task schema, whatever the name you will be used on there. I'm going to use task schema equal to new mongoose dot schema parenthesis curly bracket. Inside there you need to assign the column name, type. If you want to add the validation, so you can use that, but I have a complete code which have a title, description, completed, created at, updated at. Here some validation is, this is required true, trim means remove the space, and in the description have a type is string, means text, this is also true. This is a completed column which have a type is boolean, means true and false. This is a created date, means it will default create a date when you will store the record inside the database. This will update the date when you will update something inside the application, right? After this one, I need to call the const todo mongoose.model, and inside there I'm going to use copy todo, whatever the name you will use on there. The next thing, you need to pass the same name that you have passed on there. The last thing, you need to export this one, right? Reason for exporting it, because you need to use this one file or this one methods with another file to perform the operations like add the record, delete, update, and so on. So I'm going to close this one file. Once you create this one file, then next thing, you need to create a router, right? So give me a second. I need to create a file todo router.js. Inside there you need to control your routers. So how? Let's look at that. Const express, require express. The next one is you need to create a router. You can use any name as you want, but you can call the express.router method which will help us to route the details. The next thing is you need to call the router variable and then call the route. Inside there I'm going to use only on my slash. That's it. The last thing, I'm going to add it module.exports.router. I will use this one file inside my app.js. I'm going to remove this one and I will show you how you can use it. Todo router, and get the todo router details from the todo router file. The next thing is you need to use app.use, and you can assign the complete version of the API. Let's say I will use API version 2 todos. I'm going to use copy. I would like to use todos. After this, you need to use comma, and when user will hit this one URL, I would like to call this todo router. Inside the todo router, /, it means our API is localhost 3000 /API version 2 /todos, like this. When user will hit on this one URL, I would like to call the function which will help us to display something details inside the web page. So in order to create the function, I would like to use the controller, todo controller.js. Inside the todo controller, I would get the mongoose because I will use all of the functionalities inside this one file. Const mongoose, and the next one is I need to create a file exports.get all tutos, whatever the name you will use on there. I'm going to use async, and this will be request response. Inside there I'm going to create a variable, write any name as you want. I'm going to use task colon, not colon, equal await, and this is a to do. I would like to use to do on there. To do that find. This is a built-in method which will help us to find all of the records from the database. The next thing is I need to use response.json and pass the tasks like this. That's it. But the most important thing, you need to use try, paste the code, and catch to getting the error. If the error is exist, response.status is 500.json message and error.message. This is our function. I need to call this one function inside there. So const control to do controller. You can write any name as you want, guys. I'm going to use that controller like this. So I need to call it, by the way, this, yeah. So this is the router, this is the route, this is the URL. This URL is attached with my this one API URL. When user will hit on that, I'm going to call the get function. In the get function, I would like to call to the controller that get all tutos. That's it. This function is help us to get all of the records from the to-do app or from the database. Let's work on the next function, which are help us to create a to-do app. Details means store the details. Exports dot create to-do async and request response and const. By the way, I'm going to use try. And in the catch, I would like to use this one method because this is similar things. In the try block, I need to use const tasks equal to new to parentheses curly brackets, right? In the curly bracket, I would like to use title and assign the value which is coming from request.body.title. And the next one is I need to use description, and same thing, request.body.description. That's it. This function is help us to store the record in the database, but few more thing I need to add it inside there is const save tasks await. Then I need to call the task like this one variable and built-in function which help us to save the records. The last thing I need to use it, response.status is 201.json and passing the value like this. Then next thing is I need to call this one function on my to-do router file. Just use, after this one I'm going to use the post, right? Post to-do controller dot create. Reason for using this one method because I don't need to use multiple times many things inside there. Just one URL, I'm getting the same request to send the server like get record. When user hit the same URL, who will able to store the record. So I'm going to show you how you can use this one function and how you can get the records. So let's try to use post main and I will work on the front end on later. This time I just work on the todo get request. So I'm going to remove all of the files, just remove, because I have worked a lot on there. Alright, so this is my URL, API version 2 tutos, right? Method is post, which I used on there, and I would like to use these details to store the record in the database. So let's use it. I'm getting not found error. Okay, let's try to find out what's wrong with there. And database is connected. Version 2 doors. 3000 API version 2 doors. Okay, let's. Can't. Not found. So give me a second. So guys, I think I would like to change the port, because sometimes we are facing the problem, because I'm going to use 8000 port, and I'm going to save the file. Everything is perfect, but I just use 8000 only. So by default this setting is same, just use send. I'm getting okay, means we have successfully stored the record in the database. So let's try to not get method, but I need to use the post on there. So click to send. The record has been stored in the database, as you can see. So the next thing is I'm going to copy this one, same URL, use on there, just select the get method to get all of the record. As you can see, I'm getting the record from the database. So let's add another record, learn node, learn React and Node.js forms, like this. This is a completed, so I'm going to use true and send the request. The request has been submitted. We are getting 201 a message, means successfully stored the record. Let's write this one command. I'm getting 2 records. So let's try to refresh my database and what's going on there. I'm going to select the copy todo. As you can see, I'm getting 2 records, as you can see. So we have successfully stored the record in the database, and also we have successfully get the record from the database. So let's move on to a controller, todo controller, to make another function that help us to get the particular record and delete the record, update the record, and so on and so forth. So let's work on the get particular record on behalf of our ID, right? So I'm going to use exports that get todo and sync request response, and give me a second, I will show you an important thing. I need to not there, but give me a second, I just check it where okay, everything is perfect, guys. Make sure you need to get todo from the models.todo models. So this is very important, right? So I think I have changed it, but you need to get this one details, right? So let's get the tie, and I'm going to get the cage block from there, and just use const, write any name. I'm going to use tasks, update todo dot find by ID with the help of request dot params dot ID. Sorry, if the task doesn't exist, means user will enter something wrong ID, then I would like to use return response dot status 404.json and message like this. So I'm going to call it by calling this function. I'm going to use router because this is another URL. So I need to use router.route and colon / id. It means my URL is / and whatever the ID is. This ID will pass on this one parameter, right? When user will hit this one ID, I would like to call todoController.get Todo function. So let's try to use. So I'm going to get the ID from there. First of all, I'm going to copy this one URL and I'm going to paste on there. Just use / and paste the URL, send request. Okay, I'm getting, why I'm not getting the result. Okay, I think we are facing problems, so let me check the function todoController. Find by ID request.param. Give me a second. Okay, the problem is, guys, I need to call response.json and pass the task. So it should be display the details. So let me send the request. I'm getting the ID details on there, as you can see in learn node.js. Let me copy this one URL. I'm getting the second one result, as you can see. Let me change 3 to, I'm going to use 0 and hit send. I'm getting the message task not found. It means the error is coming from there, right? The next one is I need to create a function that will help us to delete and update the records. So create todo after this one. I would like to call exports that update todo async a request a response, and then I'm going to use same logic try. I'm getting a catch from there, just use on that. So same thing, but the different logic that you can use on there. Const tasks await todo.find by id and update request.params.id. This is the first parameter. The next parameter you need to call it is find by no. Give me a second. I will use another way. Await. I'm getting the suggestions from, just look, to find by id and I'm going to request.params.id. This task is give us the id, right? If same logic I'm going to use, just set the time where it is the like this. Okay, if the task is doesn't exist, then return not found. Otherwise I need to move on there, and I would like to use tasks.title is assign the request.body.title. This request.body is data which is coming from there, right? So I'm going to call it by using request.body.title or task.title, because I will update it. When user will click on the button, then who will get the same result inside the input fields. So I would like to use or sign and task.title. Same logic I'm going to use on there. Task.description and request.body.description or task.description, right? But The cool and important thing is I would use the another method on there, not equal to undefined or request.body.description or task.description. This is simple logic, right? The next one is I need to use task.completed request.body.completed and same thing, not equal to undefined, like this, not equal to undefined request.body.completed or otherwise task.completed. The last and final thing that you can use it, const update task await save task. That's it. Response.json and passing this one in. This function is used to update the records. So in order to update the record, I'm going to use put todo controller.update the records. Okay, why I'm getting that? I would like to use it with another line, but that's perfect. This is id get and put. Yeah, so let's try to use it. So I'm going to use, first I'm going to check it. I'm going to check the id. Yeah, copy it and select the put, but I'm going to select the body raw and I will get the details like a description and like this. No, I need to move on there and just copy this one details. I'm going to paste on there, just change few things like React.js and Tailwind CSS. On behalf of this one ID, I would like to change these details. This is the same, but I'm gonna remove this one description. I don't need it. And this will be false like this. So let's try to use it. Yeah guys, React.js and Tailwind CSS. So let's try to get all of the records. As you can see, React and Tailwind CSS and the completed is false. Great. It means we are able to update the record. Let's move on to work on the delete the application and also filter the application, means filter feature. So exports.delete todo async. Give me a second. I'm getting the suggestion, guys. Try catch. By the way, I'm gonna getting the catch from there. Just use it. So inside the todo, just use tasks await todo that find by id and same logic like this. If the IDs doesn't exist, and just use tasks, right? And let's use response.json and the message, the task successfully deleted, right? So it is working perfectly, I think. Let me copy the ID and open the delete, paste the URL. Okay, give me a second, I need to get a complete URL, and just like this one ID, send the request. Okay, I need to call this one function, guys, on there. So this is a delete todo controller, delete the records. Okay, where it is. Okay, yeah, task successfully deleted, and let me run this one. I'm getting one record. Find by ID. Okay guys, the problem is I need to use sudo find by ID delete. Okay, so that's mistake. So I would like to use this one more time. Let me send the request. I'm getting one record. Perfect. So let's move on, and the last function I need to call is toggle completed. Means function which will help us to future add the filter out, means completed, non-completed, and so on. In order to use that, so I'm going to use const export dot toggle complete async request response, and I'm going to use try. I need to get the cage from there, and then same thing like this, just copy and paste on there to save the time. And inside there I need to change the function which is find by ID, and the task is not found yet. Perfect. So after the curly bracket you need to use task dot completed. It's not task is completed, task dot updated at data now, then const updated task and await task dot save response dot json updated task. That's it. And I need to call this one on there, but I would like to change the URL, guys. So router.route, and the URL is /ID/toggle. When user will hit that, then I'm going to call the page to do that controller. It means our URL is, why I'm getting the problem, give me a second. What is the name? Toggle completed. Okay, yeah, I'm getting perfect result. So my URL is, this is the ID. After the ID I need to call the toggle like this. So on behalf of this one URL I will get the get the filter, guys. So this is our complete process to store the record in the database, perform all of the operations like insert, update, delete, and also filter out. The last and final thing I'm going to add it in the get all records. So I've used todo.find, but last thing I'm going to add it, which is filter. Means when user will enter the records, then I need to display the first one record in the top, and the last one record will be appear in the last. Means ascending or descending. In order to use the ascending, descending on behalf of my particular column, so I would use dot sort and parenthesis curly bracket, which column you will use created at. It's created at -1, means top to bottom. Means you will store the record, then the record will be appear in the top, the previous record will be appear in the down. So this is our complete backend, and we are API. We have successfully built the API which will help us to store the record in the database. And yeah, I also call the course on there, guys. Course are very important to handle the, by the way, this is a middlewares, and yeah. So let's move on the front end, and we're gonna set up our front end. and we're gonna design it. Then I will teach you how you can use the logic and get the API details and store it inside your and display inside your application, guys. So guys, we're gonna work on the logic, and we will use the states functions that help us to manage our front end, and we're gonna connect it by our API to add the record inside our database. So we're gonna work on the front end, and then we're gonna manage it inside the backend APIs. So I'm gonna close that. So first of all, I will create a states. Give me a second. So the first state I'm going to create is tasks. Set tasks. Here's a state. I'm going to assign them to array. New tasks. Set new tasks. Here's a state. By default, I'm going to assign it as object-based value. The title. Give me a second. I will assign key and values. Title is nothing. Description also nothing. Right? Editing task. Set editing task. This is 10. By default, I will assign the null value. Loading, set loading. User stat by default is false. Okay. Const filter, set filter, and the last one is by default this will be all. Show form, set show form. By default is false. So first of all, I need to work on the show form, means display and hide the form when user will click on the button to display and hide the form. So I would I just cut it and use the conditional rendering on there, and I would say show form is exist. Show form is exist, then display this one code, otherwise leave it. As you can see, I can't see any more show form, but we need to add the logic inside the add new form to display the form, right? So in order to display that, I need to add the event inside the on click set show form true, like this, and I'm gonna click on it. I'm getting that. But the last thing I need to add it when I click on the close button to cancel the form. So I need to assign the prop on cancel, and I'm passing the function set show form is false. Right, just copy it and open that. I'm gonna use it and just open this one on click and just use. Give me a second. I need to. Okay, I just use simple on click function on there, which is this. Right, so let's try to use it. Close it. Everything is perfect. Right, the next one is I'm going to remove it, and the next one is I need to work on the where is my status. I can't see the status, so give me a second. There are no status used. Okay guys, so we're gonna work on the status to display the values. So we're gonna design it, but before designing it, I would like to use this one filter buttons to add some logic inside there. So it's filter, send the filter, set filter, and assign the set filter. Right, so just copy and use that. Set filter, and we will use map method, right, to display many buttons. So I just use filter, which is this one object. I need to change it to use filters, right? So the filters dot map, and I will use type, whatever the value will be passed on there. I'm going to use return filter.map or filters. Why I'm getting the problem? Give me a second, I'm gonna undo it. Cut it and filters dot map time, and I'm going to paste that code. But why I'm facing, okay, the problem is, give me a second, I need to use dev flags justify center margin bottom 6 space x2. Inside there I'm going to use that filters, right? Filters, and then I'm going to use what? Dot map type, and just routing this one code, right? So inside the all, I need to remove it, use type dot char add 0 to uppercase, and concatenation type dot slice. I'm going to save the file, and I'm getting 3 values, right? But also I need to add the few things, which is display the different type of color combination on them. So in order to display that, I'm going to use filter equal to type, and then I'm going to use bg gradient white from green 600 to red 600. Text should be white, shadow algae, otherwise bg gray 800. So I'm gonna open that, as you can see, but I think I need to use the rounded, right? So let me check it where I use the rounded. Oh, okay, the mistake is inside there, so I'm gonna use rounded. So I'm gonna save the file. Look at that, guys. But it doesn't work when I click on the pending to display the pending option and so on. So in order to use that, I'm going to add the function inside there, which is use outside of there. I'm going to use on click set form filter, the set form filter type, and click on it, as you can see. Cool. So we are done in the button. So guys, we need to design the status means 3 cars, because I need to display some content inside there, and then I will teach you the logic how you can manage that. So stay tuned. So let's work on the logic to display the dynamic data inside the status. So the first step that you need to do, create object, write any name. I'm going to use status, and make object. And the object I'm going to assign the total, means key and value. The value is coming from the task, which is the state dot length. The next one is completed, so I would like to use simple thing on there is task dot filter, write any value on there. I'm going to use t dot completed dot length. And the last one is panning, so tasks dot filter t not t dot completed, like this. So I just use on there is a speed based, like this. Just a minute. Status like this, and inside it status I would like to use the destruct the values, which is total, completed, and pending. So I'm going to use total, completed, pending. Just replace them one by one on there. This is a total, this is a completed, okay, and this is a pending, like this. Okay, so as you can see by why I'm pending task.filter. Give me a second. Why I'm getting the pending, I'm not getting the 0, and let me check it. Pending task.filter. Not is okay. I also add the length on there, so it should be displayed the 0. Correct. So let's move on, and this is a task list, so I would like to work on that. So in order to work on that, I need to pass as a props. The first one is task, and use filter task, but I think I need to create that function, guys. So yeah, give me a second, I will create that. Const filter tasks dot filter task, and I'm going to use if filter is equal to what, completed. Then I just use return task dot completed, and same thing, I'm gonna make a copy of the same thing, just use not, and inside there I'm gonna use pen. Last thing you need to use return tree. Okay, and why I'm getting that, just use what, okay. So in the tasks, you just use filter task function, which is this. The next component or next probe you need to assign on it is loading and editing task, update task, but I will work on the update task and also delete task and toggle task on later. This time I've just used 3 props to manage this one application, right? Let's move on. Open the task list. Right, so in the task list I need to destruct them, tasks, just like this, and loading editing task. Let me check. Editing task is, yeah, this is a state. Alright, so the first step is I'm gonna use the task is map method to get the complete detail inside this one. So I'm gonna use task.map task, just use return this one component, right? You can't see anything else because I need to pass as a prop best value on there. Then I will pass the prop best value on there. Then I will get the value with my another component like task add, right? Also I need to add few more things inside there, which is if the loading is exist, then I would like to use return outside of this one I'm going to use it because this is my loading spanner. The next one I need to use if the task.length what I'm getting is equal to, give me a second, 0, then I would like to use return no tasks from try adding 1, right? And also I need to assign the class, which is text center, and yeah, padding top and bottom at text should be gray 400 text LG, like this. So I need to give me a second. I need to pass as a prop on there, and we're gonna work on it. The first one is let's say what task.map. Okay, key. I'm gonna use task.id, and the next one is task. As a prop, the value is send task. Right. I'm gonna leave the editing task and set editing task so on. Just use that because I need to work on it. Then I will manage another values. So I just get the task and use it inside there. Right. Once you get that, then I also mentioned that as a conditional based rendering. Right. So first of all, I use on it task.completed, then completed, then I'm going to use opacity 75, otherwise nothing. And this is also conditional rendering, so yeah, I also need the editing task as a prop. Editing task, right? So I just get that, and I'm gonna use it. And this is a conditional based, right? So I just get it and use editing tasks not dot equal to task.id, right? Then I would like to use this code, otherwise I need to use this code. Give me a second and use colon and paste the code there. Right. If the task ID, editing task, and our task ID is match, then display this one form, otherwise display this one form, right? So let's look at that. Crud. So let's move on and add the dynamic details. So this is the left side. So on the left side, like this is a check, and yeah. So first of all, I cut it, and I will also work on it on later. This time I just use the conditional rendering to display some content and change the static data to dynamic data. Right. So yeah, I need to use right. So this is the button. This is the text info, and the text info. I just use task.title, and where is the description? Here is the description. So I need to use task.description, and also I need to use the class on conditional based. Task is completed. Then I would like to use text should be 400 online through. Otherwise text should be right. And same thing I'm gonna do on there, which is task that completed. Text should be 500. Otherwise text should be 300. So this is also time is 10, but it is a conditional based. So I would like to use if the task.description is exist, so display this one content, right? I'm getting this. right? Cool. And inside there I'm going to add the date, dynamic date. But before adding it, no, guys, give me a second, I will undo it. This is not conditional based. The conditional based is this video means a description. So I need to use task dot description is exist, then display the description, right? So let's move on the created head. So I just use created new that function, and I'm gonna assign a task dot created at this is my value, right, to local data string function. So this is up here, give me a second. Basically it is up here inside my database. So I will show you how you can use it. Just use this one on the task.created@, right? And also I would like to use task.updated at not equal to task.created@, and display span tag dot updated and new that task dot update at dot to local date string, like this. So yeah, it's perfect. So let's move on, and this is our function, I mean button I need to use on there is there on click set editing. Okay, I use only on the editing is exist, but I also mention it set editing. So yeah, loading task loading, and yeah, I need to pass it as a prop. Where is on cancel? Not this one. The set editing task. I need to use set editing. Just copy it and move on there, and same thing I'm gonna do. Just like this, copy and I'm gonna use on it, right? So just copy and use it and just pass the test.id, right? And the same thing, you can assign the delete feature, but these are database based functions. So I will create it, then I will manage that, right? So yeah, it's perfect, guys. So our application almost is completed, and whenever we'll store the record, we will able to see the details. So I think I need to save this in file, and yeah, so we're gonna work on the logics which help us to get the data from APIs, and we're gonna display the database details inside my application. So guys, we're gonna work on the API. It means I need to get the data from API, and we will use it inside our front end. So I'm gonna create a folder inside the source API, create a file, tasks API.js. So our main URL is API base underscore URL is http://localhost/8000. Remember, we have changed the URL API/version2 like this. The first step, I'm going to create a function that will help us to get the complete details from the database. We will store the details inside our application. So in order to get the data, I'm going to use the exports const, not export, just use export, fetch API, fetch task API async. So const result, yeah, I'm going to use a result of wait fetch function literal template, and my base API URL is right, but I'm going to change it as API base. Okay, means the target this one URL. After this one URL, I need to use /tutos, right? So this is our main URL. Then I would like to use if response or result is not okay, then I need to use throw an error, failed to fetch task. The last one is I need to use return result.json. That's it. So I need to use this one inside this one file. Right, so yeah, we will use simple things. Import fetch API from there. I need to destruct them because I will create many other functions inside there. This time I just create a fetch task API, right? So let's create a function const fetch task async and use try catch, and there I'm going to use console.log and also I'm going to use the finally as well on there. The reason for using finally, I will use the loading state. So in the try block you need to use set loading is true, const data await the function that you have used, like fetch task API, and assign it inside the variable. The next thing, you need to target set task and assign the data. In the finally, I need to use set loading is false, right? When the page will be loaded, I need to call this one function. So in order to use loading means load the page, I will use the use effect hook and just use fetch task API, not fetch, just use this one function. That's it. So let me open the terminal, and I would like to use cd backend and npm install because I need to execute the backend. Right, so let's refresh the page, not refresh, just saving details. We will get the details. Okay, I think guys something is wrong. So in order to check that, so I'm gonna open the Postman and use the URL and use send request, and I'm gonna open the console. Yeah, the issue is coming from my IP address which are used inside the mongoDB. So give me a second, I just log in the account in my mongoDB and I need to add my IP address. So guys, I'm logged in my account. So I just used this access entry point anywhere. I just use default, right? So just click OK. Now let's try to use it. and I'm also getting the problem, guys, so give me a second. Why? Okay, I think it should be so. No, give me a second. Browse collections. Yeah, to do copies. Yeah. Let me find the error. Guys, the problem is coming from my IP address. Just use. Give me a second. Okay. Open the new terminal. Once again, I see cd backend npm install. And let me check it. Okay, guys, we are getting connection successfully connected. And there we go. Let's open the application and refresh a page. I'm getting the value, but have some issue inside my front end. So yeah, we're gonna fix it, right? So we have successfully get that data from the backend, guys. So let me open the task list like this, and is loading. Give me a second. Set loading is, I use the loading inside loading. Just remove this one. As you can see, guys, but other features is doesn't work. Like these features are working, but I can't click to check mark, edit, delete. Also I'm getting the details inside them. So let's work on the another functions. So just use same thing, export const create task API like this, and const results await fetch, and yeah, we will use the give me a second, it is very important, guys. So in my previous function, I do not use the method which are used to get the data, but inside the post, inside the create submit the form in the database, you need to use methods. So make object, use method, post, and also use content type is application/JSON, right? So method is post. Guys, I'm facing issue to give me a second. What's wrong with comma return response? Give me a second, I will recreate it. Right, so just use results await fetch API base URL/todo, and the method should be post comma headers is object-based value, which is content type is application JSON. After this one curly brackets, I need to use body colon JSON dot stringify task, right? Yeah, and the last one, why I'm getting okay, just come on. The last one is I need to use if the response is not okay to display the error, fail to create task, and the last one is I need to use return like this. So this function is used to create submit the data. So I'm going to copy and paste the same thing, but I need to change the function, which is update task API. So the URL is $2/$, and I would like to use ID and updates as a parameter. The first one is ID on there, and same thing post, not post. I need to use method should be put, and this will be updates, and same thing like this, right? So just copy, paste. This will be delete and delete task API, and we just pass one parameter inside there, which is ID, and pass it inside there. So the method should be delete, and do not use header and so on and so forth, just like this, right? And yeah, we can display the message if you want to display it, but I'm gonna leave it. The last function I would like to create that, which is toggle, means filter the checkbox and uncheck box. So this will be toggle task API, and same ID I'm going to pass it, but after the ID use /toggle. Method should be page, and the last thing I'm going to use it return result.json, right? And also I need to use the return inside there as well, because I need to get the return result. So guys, we have more than 5 functions which help us to perform the operation. So I already mentioned the first one, but we need to create another functions, like create a task, update, delete, and yeah, we're gonna work on it. So the first function I would like to create it, const create task async, passing the value, not passing value, if the new task dot title is not exist. Also I'm going to use the trim, means to remove the space, just to use return. Otherwise I would like to use these things like there, and set loading. I don't need to use set loading on there, so just use await create task API, which is coming from this one folder. As you can see, just use that. The next one is I need to use, this is the object-based value, so I need to use array, make a copy of the task, right? Task comma, and assign the videos data. But I think I need to check the task. Yeah. The next one is I need to use set new task like this, and set show form is false. Right? I don't need to use that. And also I need to create another function which is update the task, const update task, and I need to use async passing the ID and updates. I'm going to copy that, just paste on it, change the function which is update task API, and in the set task just remove it. In the set task you need to use task.map, write any name. I'm going to use t, just use t.id is equal to id data, otherwise display only on t, means this one result. Okay, set editing, I would like to use null, and yeah. So here is my mistake, so I need to use updates, which is coming from as a parameter. So this is my update function, the last function, not lot, second last function, which is delete. And delete task async passing the ID, and we're gonna use try catch. I just copy that. Right. In the try block I need to use await and delete task API, and just remove the I and enter it. It should be get the this function from my API folder. Right, cool, and assign the ID on there. I do not use the functions inside this one application, I just making them, then I'm going to show you how you can use them. So yeah, the last function I need to create a toggle task, and inside there I'm going to pass the same logic. Give me a second, I'll just use try. In the try block I need to use const update head await, calling the function which is toggle task API and passing the ID as a parameter. Next one is I need to use set task states and task.map t, and yeah, same thing I'm gonna do on there, but I think I have some mistakes. So yeah, perfect. So guys, we have more than 4 functions, which is create a task, update task, delete task, and toggle the task. But before moving on the add task, I need to complete this section, means task list, right? So in the task list I need to call update task and passing the update delete toggle 3 props, and we're gonna use it inside there. Update task delete toggle, right? And same thing I'm gonna pass inside there. So just give me a second, I can just copy it and I'm gonna paste on there because I need to work on there, and just copy these 3 and we will use it. Okay, like this. So I need to work on this item list to edit and also delete the functionalities. Then we're gonna work on the add record, right? So the first step, so here is the task form. First of all, I need to use task, and I'm going to assign the values task, which is coming from prop. And I also mentioned onSave function on there, updates, and that is our, and use update task. This is my function which is coming from as a prop, and this function will get two parameters. The first one is task.id, means the current ID. The next one is value. So I need to use updates like this one, right? And last prop I'm gonna pass it is on cancel, right? So cancel that. So let's move on there, and we would like to use edit task, means task on save and cancel. So last and final step is, so inside there I'm gonna use const, I need to create a state, guys. Title, set title, use state. I need to get the data from task.title, and same thing, description. After that I need to use the function which handle the submit, okay? Const handle submit e.prevent default, and I'm going to call the function which is a prop. Inside there I need to pass two values, which is states, I mean description, and title, okay? Title and description, like this. That's it. The next one is I need to use the value, should be title, and on change event e dot, I'm gonna pass the e, set title e dot target dot value on there. Same thing you can do, copy it and paste on there. Just change the title with description, and this is the set description, okay? And yeah, perfect. And these are buttons. So this is the check, means save, and this is the cancel, means close. So this is the button. So I would like to use on click handle submit, and this is the cancel button. So I just use on cancel, on click on cancel function. That's it. So let's try to use edit. I can't get the data, right? So I think something is wrong. Fetch failed. Okay, something is wrong on, guys. So guys, I think something is wrong inside the update task API and update task. So I would like to move on. Task atom.id, task atom JSX file. Inside there have my mistake is I used the task .id, but this is a database ID. I need to use underscore ID. It should be solve the problem. So I'm going to refresh my page. I'm getting huge requests, but I will manage it. So just use save, and there we go. As you can see, very simple but very useful logic. The next and important thing is I need to move on a to-do controller, right? This is my backend. In the backend you should be able to use the date in the update to-do, means when the task will be updated, then your date also will update. So I'm going to use it, new date function. like this. Very simple. So I remove all of the files or tabs. The next one is this fetch effect. I also mentioned the empty dependency, but when the filter, this filter will change, means when user will click on any button like padding, and this use effect will be executed, otherwise it doesn't work, right? So very simple. So guys, we have details, we can edit it, but let's work on that delete. So also have a delete. So task list, I deleted them, term, and the delete trash. Give me a second, I'll just check it. Okay, so here is the button I need to use on click, and just use delete task.id like this. So let's try to use it. I'm getting problem. So yeah, I'm gonna refresh my page. There are no any task is inside the application, guys. So as you can see, right? Very cool. So we have successfully configured our display the record, update, delete, and let's work on the toggle. So before moving on that, I would like to use postman, and I'm going to select the method is post because I need to store the record, guys. So I'm going to use send request, and I'm going to change the filter. I'm getting the value, right? So what I'm going to do on there, I need to work on the checkbox. So let's move on. So the checkbox toggle, okay. Right side task info toggle is completion. Okay, here's a button. Inside the button, first of all, I would like to use the color combination tasks that completed, then display the background color is green, otherwise display background color is like this. And also I will call the function which is on click, and call the function toggle task.id like this. Just save it and let's try to use it. I'm going to click on it, it will work. Refresh my page. Okay, it's working, guys, but the problem is just click it, and when you will change the filter, so it should be applied on there. I'm going to click on it, click to pending, completed. This is a completed, right? Very cool. So the last and final thing is add form. When I click on it to get the data and store the data inside our database. So let's move on and we're gonna work on that. So the first step is the task form. We need to pass as a props. So the first prop is set show form and hide it, but also I need to pass many other. First one is new task, and I'm gonna assign the new task as a statement. Set new task, and also I need to assign the set new task, right? And also I would like to use on add create a task. So 3 props, I need to work on that. But before working on it, one more thing, I need to change it. Okay, so here is a create a task title. So inside there I need to assign the value, because this is a state. This is the API which are used to get the data. So inside there I'm going to assign the new task. So this is a create task, right? So let's move on there, and this is the first one is the cancel. The next one is new task, set task, add task. Cool. And we will use simple logic on there, guys. Very simple. So where is the add new? Okay, add new task, and this is a conditional based, so I would like to use on cancel. On cancel is exist to display that, and let's move on. And also I will use the on cancel function on there that will help us to get the cancel option. Okay, so very important and very helpful. Assign the values new task.title, but when I change the value, I would like to use e, means element, set new task as a prop, and I need to use new task title.e.target value. You can use same logic, just copy it and paste on there, and just change the values description new task. This will be a description like this, and the last one is on add event when user will click on the button. So I would like to call the function which is on click on it. So I'm going to save the file, and I think it should be solved the problem. So let's use Todo App list. We will complete MERN Stack project. Yeah, there we go, guys. We have successfully stored the data in the database. We can edit it, we can delete it, we can use all of the functionalities like this. These are my all. Pending is 1, completed is 1. I can edit it, I can delete it, I can uncheck it, and there we go. So this is a complete application, so that I have used simple React, mongoDB, Node.js, and Express. So this is my first project, guys. I will create a many projects using MERN Stack. So thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.